What's up, guys? My name is Coach Luke, and this is Coach Eric, and we are the coaches here at Reason Fitness. We are starting a brand new segment called Coaches React here on the Happy Healthy Human podcast. And this is just a segment where we're going to be commenting based on our experience and expertise on some of the most trending and some of the most popular videos on health and fitness out there in the world based on our definition of what health and fitness is. So, without further ado, let's get started.
Get right into it, dude. You want to go first or me go first?
You go first.
All right. So my first one is from the guy named Wellness Daddy. Yeah, bro. Come on, we dads, so we got to bring the daddies, you know what I'm saying? So first one's from Wellness Daddy, and it's a clip on YouTube, all right?
We've probably all heard that it's good to have a dark room for getting better sleep, but there's a huge difference between having a dark room and having a blackout room. I highly recommend you invest in getting some blackout shades or a really high quality eye mask and tape any lights with black tape that might be disrupting your sleep. Do this and watch how it completely transforms your sleep. It's really easy. Once you get it, you don't even have to think about it.
I mean, I do think it's going to make an improvement. So I recently actually we recently just put in blackout curtains in our room.
You did?
Yep, blackout curtains. And then on top of that, we put aluminum foil. It's like an aluminum blackout thing on our window so that there's zero light coming in from the outside. Zero light.
Aluminum foil?
It's like an aluminum foil type of...
like what you bake pizza with?
It's kind of like that, but it sticks under the glass.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not Reynolds foil?
And no, it's not Reynolds.
Okay. I thought you Jerry. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But like I will say, it has been a game changer for us. However, if you struggle with sleep, I would argue that it has less to do with your blackout curtains and more to do with other factors in your health and your fitness. But in my opinion, it has improved the quality of my sleep. Because when I wake up and my eyes open, it's still black and it's easier for me to fall back asleep versus if I were to wake up and see even the smallest bit of light, I'm gonna feel like it's time to wake up. What do you think?
So I've only experienced blackout curtains when I travel. And so but the tough thing with travel, so I would say that I'm pretty sleep optimized. I have the nose strips because I'm a snorer, and my nose just in general, I have allergies, so it's always hard to breathe out of one or both nostrils.
Yeah.
Right? So he's gonna cut that into a reel. But so for me, nose strips, I do the blue light. I don't notice much of a difference in blue light. I don't know if you do with blue light glasses at night. But what I do find that helps a lot is the nights when I fall asleep and I don't watch any TV before I fall asleep versus just when I watch TV, I tend to stay up like a little bit. I fall asleep watching TV, but when I don't watch anything, it's easier for my eyes to kind of fall asleep. But for the blackout curtain, I don't have them, so it's hard for me to say. When I travel, I'm not as comfortable in the bed because it's not my home bed.
Yep.
And there's other factors, just you don't have the comforts of home. But I do notice that the blackout curtains help.
Yeah.
So I can't I don't have them at home, so it's hard for me to say.
Yeah. I would say biggest takeaway for me is
I want them though.
You want them?
I do, but my wife is not convinced that we need them. Yeah.
You do, I will say this, as someone who has them, you don't know how helpful they are until you have them.
How much are they?
Dude, I paid like $10 on Amazon for the foil stuff, and then probably like $20 for the blackout curtains.
Oh. Wait, do these go over, if you have a shade, does it go over your shade? Or is it under your...
Over.
I see.
You have to install...
you have to drill it.
You have to drill
curtain.
the wall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
All right, what you got for me? Yeah, let's see it.
All right.
Here's something really interesting. I know that people talk about the expense of eating organic, but this is the exact same brand. This is non-organic, this is organic. This is only $1 more. But think about this. More nutrient-dense foods require less satiation. So you actually eat less of this to get satiated, because the nutrients, when they get to the brain, actually tell the brain that you've eaten enough food and you're more satiated. That's why people that eat a high amount of processed foods eat more calories in a day, even eating the same food. So if you eat more nutrient-dense foods, you're likely to eat less, and it's going to be more nutritious. So this is only $1 difference between these two. An organic map
Hold on, what? Hold on, I might need to watch that again. That was kind of a word salad there. He showed me. Okay, let's just.
So
Hold on. He showed me 2 bags of green beans.
Yes.
One is organic and one is not
non-organic.
And he is saying you will feel more full if it's organic.
Because there's more nutrients.
Dog, no, bro. I don't even know where to begin with that. Wait, hold on. Is that Gary too?
That's Gary Brecker.
There's no way he said that.
He just went public saying that organic foods have more nutrients than non-organic foods, and saying it would satiate you more. Two bags of green beans. One is going to satiate you more than the other.
There's no freaking way. There's no way.
Okay, so why?
Dude, he's playing. He's joking. There's no way. Okay. I don't even know where to begin with that, man. Like,
First thought. Is he right or is he? I mean, like what? Like, is there validity? Is there any validity?
I feel like he's posting. I feel like he's doing this. I want to read the comments because I feel like he's saying this just to get a reaction like this. I think it's intentional because I don't think he believes that.
Okay, but for the average person who watches this and doesn't have any education on this kind of stuff,
unless the research,
how can you create better education on this?
Unless the science has changed because non-organic food is being regulated in a truly different way. I thought it was just pesticides, but is it possible that because it's grown organically that it is a more fibrous green bean? I don't think so.
Even if it was, it would have to be marginal.
But maybe. I don't know. I think we should do a live green bean test. like we should eat 5 green beans blind and see which tastes more.
Which one makes you more full?
More satiable.
Yeah.
I think this is pseudoscience.
Yeah.
And I believe that is a false claim. And I just.
Why?
Because that's not how growing vegetables works.
So what's the thing that helps people feel more satiated? What part of the vegetable?
In the context of the vegetable, I would say probably fiber.
Yes. Okay.
Is there a different vitamin count? Maybe. But I think all of the arguments, you would have to eat loads of green beans. We're talking about over a decade of eating green beans, there might be a slight marginal difference.
So even if there was a marginal difference of more nutrients in organic versus non-organic green beans, do you think it would feel different?
Not for satiation.
Yeah.
Not for satiation. Would I argue eating organic is better for you? Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably, but not for being full.
Cool.
Not for being full. Yeah. Wow, that's what. I'm afraid to watch the other videos that you're going to show me of him.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I got one next. So this one is, I'm mentored by this guy. I'm currently, this year, it's 2024, I'm currently I'm in his mentorship group called Early. And he's Dr. Peter Attia. He wrote the book Outlive. It's a great book.
Love it.
And his mission is now, one of the pillars of his life mission has become one of the pillars of my life mission, which I don't think I 100%, I'm not on everything that he's on, but in terms of he wants to increase health span and lifespan, and I do too. Although I'm a little differing on lifespan because I don't think it's that important to try to live forever.
Yeah.
So that's the only place I would differ, but great mentor, great course I'm taking, so.
The 2 metrics that are most significantly associated with longevity. So if we were to stack up every possible known risk factor, smoking, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, coronary artery disease, end-stage kidney disease, whatever, and we were to talk about how much of a hazard ratio do these bring to you in terms of all-cause mortality, they're quite big. Hypertension is about a 20%. Type 2 diabetes is about a 30% increase in mortality. Smoking is 50% increase. Being weak relative to being strong is about 250%. Having a very low VO2 max in the bottom 25% of the population versus being in the top 2.5% of the population is about 400%. Wow. So when you line everything up, the two things that stand out the most are incredible cardiorespiratory fitness as measured by VO2 max and strength.
Yep. I mean, well, okay, so first thought off of that is like having more muscle and having a greater capacity to breathe and cycle oxygen into your blood, into your muscles and into your blood pushes away all the things that he just said, like type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular heart disease. Like it actually creates a bigger buffer towards those things. So yeah, that makes obvious sense because it's like if type 2 diabetes increases what he said, like your mortality rate by 30%, then it's like really what that is better nutrition, right? It's like that's literally the solution. So, which is necessary when you're trying to increase muscle mass, or necessary when you're trying to increase your VO2 max or have a greater cardiovascular output. So, yeah, I mean, he's not wrong. I think that those two are actually the most. I think what he's trying to say is like those two are actually the most underrated ways of preventing metabolic diseases because. Most people, when they think about like prevention of disease or prevention of, most of the problems in their life or sickness, most people think medicine.
Sure.
And so I think that's probably, I mean, that video in of itself is probably going to get a lot of views just because it's like it's something that I think is unexpected and also underrated. What do you think?
The 400x multiplier that was crazy to me.
I think what he means by 400x is 4x. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's that 4 times is crazy. That's
4 times.
That's still crazy to me. Like because what he's saying is that's the difference between the bottom 30% or the bottom 20% and the top 2.5% or something like that. Gotta watch it again.
Yeah.
But it's wild how like in today's day and age, with all the resources that we have in a first world country, that's our context right now, like the knowledge, information that you have, that spectrum is so wide. Even though we are all living like first world lives.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean?
The solution to staying away from metabolic disease is way less complex than we make it out to seem.
Yeah.
It is actually so simple, but we make it more complicated because we're not willing to take the time to be patient and let ourselves get fit.
Yeah, just got to do the work, right?
Got to do the work.
Yeah. All right, what you got?
All right, ready?
Yep.
Another Gary Brecker.
Oh man, you're on this guy right now.
He's the last one.
Is yours all Gary?
No, It's just the two.
There is nothing, no amount of exercise hits cardio, no type of cardiovascular or weight training that comes anywhere close to immersing yourself in cold water in terms of what will strip fat off your body fast. If you want to strip fat off your body, get in cold water 3 to 6 minutes a day.
Okay, dude. All right, let me see your phone. Okay. Which video is that?
Oh man,
is this one?
Yeah, that one.
Okay, I'm gonna pause it and I'm gonna read the comments because, as someone that does ice baths, I ain't doing.
Why do you do ice baths?
Mental.
All mental.
All mental for me. It's
almost no physical. Or some physical. How much mental? How much physical? What percentage mental?
Physical, yes, but certainly not with the goal of burning fat.
For sure.
I am not doing ice baths for the purpose of trying to burn fat.
Yeah.
I'm doing it physically for recovery, which I think it helps.
Yeah.
I think it helps a lot more when you contrast it with sauna.
What were you going to read in the comments?
I just want to I don't know that he's real. I'm starting to. I don't think this is.
He's a real person.
No, I don't think what he. Wow, someone plunged 5 minutes every day in 43-degree water for the past 45 days. Oh, he's hating. I thought he was going to say he lost a ton of weight, but 0 weight loss. But I feel great. I would agree with this. I would agree with this comment on this video. Third Day Woodworks. Mr. Third Day Woodworks, he says, I plunge 5 minutes every day in 44-degree water, that's pretty cold. It's not super cold. For the past 45 days, 0 weight loss, but I feel great every day and could not imagine not plunging every day. Stripping fat off the body, nope. I would agree with that. Do I think it can help with your burning fat? Yes, especially if you're doing a lot of ice bath, because you're going to simply burn fat from the thermogenesis.
Yes.
Right? You're gonna get cold. I think at some point there's adaptation, and then also I think he argued that it is the best way to lose body fat. Just no, that's pseudo.
Yeah.
I don't know. This guy must have be a Series A investor in Plunge.
Yeah, for sure.
Or something something like because that's no.
Yeah.
No.
I also think that because at the end of the day, if you are still eating more food, eating more calories than what you are spending, no matter how many cold plunges you do, you will store the difference between what you are consuming and what you are spending in the day.
I mean, honestly, this kind of makes me want to do an experiment of I'm just gonna eat exactly this, eat a diet for 4 weeks, no ice bath, and eat the exact same diet and the exact same training for 4 weeks with ice. Will I lose more fat doing the cold baths? I'm gonna say probably, but I can't imagine anything meaningful.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of that depends on how much fat you want to lose.
Yeah,
you know it's just if you do create an adaptation,
it's
you got to go colder.
Yeah, it's not. It's just, to me, it's not the. I don't agree that it's the best number one way.
For sure.
This man is slanging ice baths.
Yeah.
And yeah.
What is the best way to lose body fat?
Exercise and nutrition, brother. Come on, man. We know this, brother.
Yeah.
Maximizing and optimizing your 5 factors of health, right? How you rest and recover. Oh, by the way, you want to talk about recover? I bought I bought those leg compression thingies. I did my first one yesterday.
I
bought the Compex one because it was $1,000, but I got it for 300. It's really legit. I might bring it here and let people use it. Ish, you want to use it? Ish wants to use it because he's training for the games. Fittest media man alive. All right.
Ready?
Dude, Dr. Brecker.
Brecker.
Dude, I don't know about that guy, man. He works with a lot of people, too.
He works with a lot of people.
All right, here's another one.
Famous people. Grant Cardone.
Here's another one from Wellness Daddy, because we on the daddies right now. All right.
Good.
Maybe you should tape your mouth shut. A lot of people don't know how to breathe. And this is directly impacting their sleep, and it's really ruining their life in many ways. It sounds dramatic, but it might be true. When you are chronically breathing through your mouth, what happens is it's going to put you in a sympathetic state. What all that means is you're in a stress state. When you're in a stress state, it's going to be harder to fall asleep, and something's going to happen with your blood sugar. And so you might be waking up in the night, you might be having sleep disturbances, and maybe all this could be tracked back to the fact that you're mouth breathing. I know it sounds crazy, but people tape their mouths, which forces them to breathe through their nose. And when they breathe through their nose, they sleep throughout the night and they wake up feeling much, much more refreshed.
Okay, so first of all, he didn't even explain what taping your mouth does to your blood sugar. He just mentioned blood sugar and then went back to how it
Wait, he's talking about blood sugar? Where did I miss that?
Did you not listen to that part?
I didn't hear anything about blood sugar.
I know.
What?
It makes him sound way smarter.
Huh. Okay, I missed that.
Yeah. I mean, I have never seen any research on how being in a sympathetic state, specifically in sleep, has altered your blood sugar. But what I will say is this. I think that there is validity to having I think there's validity to being in a less sympathetic state or a less stressed state when you are breathing more consistently through your nose, because it helps regulate your oxidative and carbon dioxide like intake and output, which technically does help with like calming your nervous system down,
quality,
right? Like, yeah, it does help with like your CNS, right? It does improve like the quality of your CNS, especially at rest. And so, but
Do you mouth tape?
no,
Have you mouth taped before?
no,
Have you nose stripped? You nose stripped.
I've
right?
nose stripped.
Yeah.
But like, for someone to be thinking about for someone to be trying to improve their sleep by mouth taping, but maybe is like 50 to 100 pounds overweight, like I can probably just tell that person like, it's not like what's going to help improve your sleep is not going to be the mouth tape. You know, like it's going to be improving your stress levels by like exercising a little bit more so that you can actually probably like get more regular endorphins throughout the day, but then also like improving like your ability to breathe through your throat. You know what I'm saying? And so like that's probably going to help the average person sleep a little bit better than like trying to close your mouth. In fact, it might be a little bit dangerous. I would actually argue to close your mouth if you are not used to breathing through your mouth, if you're not used to breathing through your nose regularly. So, would I recommend that to someone to improve their sleep? 9 times out of 10, no. Because there are so many other markers of like improving your sleep that I would start with. What do you think?
I have mouth tape, so.
Does it help you?
So here's the thing is like my take on mouth tape is this. At the end of the day, it's tape. So I tried it with like regular tape before.
Yeah.
By the way, if you tape yourself, you will look like a fool and feel like a fool taping your mouth shut. Like I said, I have allergies, so I'm already kind of congested. Like, so I do Flonase before bed to make sure I can breathe out of my nose.
Yeah.
But every time I've ever I even bought like an official, like it has like an X on it, and it hurts when you take it off your lips. But every single morning that I've ever done it, I've woken up with the mouth strip not on my mouth. And I don't recall taking it off.
Wow.
It's like somewhere in my bed. So it hasn't been very effective for me, but I've heard a lot of people sleep a lot better with mouth tape. I'm talking,
Really?
yeah, I'm talking, I've met at least a dozen plus people that like have had really positive experience. They mouth tape right now, right? So it hasn't been the greatest experience for me, but I just don't like anything on me. Like I don't even like the nose strip when I sleep. I'll be honest. I don't like anything on my face. So like I struggle like because a lot of people wear like a face mask to go to bed, like you know, like a weighted face mask.
Yeah.
That's supposed to help you sleep, but like
How do you use that?
like I can't. Like like Phil Chan once, I was in Vegas with him, and this dude had like he pulled out. I was like, dude, you wear a mask to bed? He goes, I am when I'm going to be next to you, and I'm wearing earplugs. I was like, that's a smart decision, right?
Yeah.
He's like this far away, like we're both in Queens or whatever, right? And then I looked at him, I was like, damn, that's a win for him. But like I don't know, like I don't like stuff on my face, so I don't know. It works for somebody. But the science behind it, I can kind of get behind it in terms of like, I just don't. I think it's cheap enough for you to try. Like there's no, you can go and get duct tape and throw it on your mouth and try it.
Yeah.
And if it helps, then at the end of it, it helps. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And it's not like a gimmicky, like I mean, you can also put an ice in your ice. You can put ice in your bathtub at home, but like a plunge committing to like a ice bath machine, that's anywhere from like $1,000 to thousands of dollars.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm not against it. I don't know if it's effective for everyone or even most people. So,
but to validate,
and I don't know anything about that blood sugar stuff, bro. I don't know. That's news to me.
Yes, I mean. What he's doing is he's taking a piece of data and information and applying it to a different context. Do I think that breathing through your nose will help you stay in a more parasympathetic state, which will help you stay away from stress? Yes, I actually do agree with that. However, does it apply when you're in sleep to everyone? Like debatable, Okay, ready?
What you got? Yeah, let's do like I don't know, 1 or 2 more each.
Yep. Let's see. You like Zac Efron?
I love Zac Efron, dude.
He's very
That
handsome.
man is handsome, dude. His jaw looks crazy, man.
When I was done with that movie, I don't ever want to be in that good a shape again. Really. It was so hard.
Zac Efron got into incredible shape to play Matt Brody in the 2017 Baywatch movie. But while taking part in the Hot Ones challenge, he confessed he never wanted to go through that process again.
I was eating so much chicken breast. The hardest part about it was actually chewing it all. So I would just put it into a blender, blend it all up, and just drink chicken. Isn't that gross?
He's spoken before about having a virtually carb-free diet during the process and having anxiety about things like water retention.
You're working with almost no wiggle room, right? You've got things like water under your skin that you're worrying about, like making your 6-pack into a 4-pack, like that. It's just like it's just stupid.
Although he said he doesn't want to do it again, he has said he might consider it for the right part.
I may do it again if it was something worthwhile, but we'll wait until it gets to that. I don't need to. I'm good. I realized that, like...
What movie was that for?
Baywatch.
Oh, sorry, Baywatch? Oh, he was
Did
shredded.
you watch that?
He was shredded in Baywatch.
He was so shredded.
I'm putting this out in public, but I watched that because I knew he was going to be shredded in that.
He was very good looking.
High School Musical,
Very,
man.
very
Been a
shredded.
fan. Been a fan for 2 decades. Gotta admit. You
Yep.
know? So,
What do you think?
the evolution of Zac Efron is fascinating to me, actually. He's a very good looking man, I'll tell you that.
What do you think about eating that way to get that shredded?
I think it's his job. I think it's his job. I think for his role and what he was trying to play, I think Hollywood has unrealistic bodies for the everyday man.
Yes.
For sure,
Yeah.
right?
So you don't like the
but-
message that it portrays for someone
You know,
average to get
but
shredded.
like it's like I like that he can admit that like I had to do this for my job. You know, I don't know if you've seen the movie Castaway.
No.
You've never seen Am I that old? You seen Castaway, bro? Tom Hanks. So Tom Hanks plays a dude that gets, I think, in a plane accident or something like that, and then lands on a random island, and he basically like survives by himself. It's the whole thing is documenting, how, like his beard grows to like his foot, and then dude, he starves himself. He literally starves himself to the point where let me show you a picture of him. I'll Google Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks Castaway. Here. Tom Hanks Castaway. So, dude's like freaking, like so in that movie he reverse filmed. They like filmed all of it, then he lost the weight, and then they filmed the rest of it because like you can't maintain being like that. So, find a. Like, damn, it's not a good shot, but he looks like, it's like he's really thin from, like, skin and bone, and then
Probably compared
it's
to
such
what
a
you
big
saw.
contrast to like this, like it's just
Right.
yeah. So it show. I heard they filmed that movie over, and so I don't, and like I get that that's part of their job, and I'm glad that Zach is saying that because I think it gives people. I actually respect that he says that because it gives people perspective, like, hey, that's not normal.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
It is a very unsustainable, and it's not meant to be sustainable.
Yep.
And I appreciate that posture, and I think Hollywood actors have very difficult jobs. I compare it to like bodybuilding. It's like is bodybuilding. Oh man, this is hot. This is a hot take right now. I have nothing against bodybuilding, but I don't find bodybuilding to be healthy. I don't.
You're entitled to your own opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't find it to be
Especially based on our markers of health.
and people, yeah, exactly. But people and people like us, where we're focusing on these 5 factors, like is it a challenge? Absolutely. But it's relative. So for them, I would argue that their peak. You know, I had Aaron on the podcast. He says your peak sickness is like your peak physique of how, like that's how you win. Right, you're totally dehydrated. You want to be as shredded as possible, but you're actually like you're the weakest you're ever gonna be.
Yeah.
So you're a sick person, right? So you're doing that for that job, and I'm like, I can get behind that for the challenge of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that clip. Big fan of Zac Efron. I also know that usually when they're training for movies, I know people in that industry, they're usually supplementing. They're usually supplementing with doctor prescribed or not prescribed extra medicine.
Yes.
To get a result. To enhance the results, right? And that's part of their job, And I've known people that have done those things for less.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of what I think of it. I don't know. What do you think? I mean,
would I ever recommend that for someone who's trying to get lean? To cook chicken breast and blend it? Like, obviously not. You know what I'm saying? There are way better ways to. Actually, there are ways to get that shredded. It's going to take a lot longer than what he said was 6 months. Like, it's going to take 6 months to get there. I'm like, it's going to take a lot longer. But it's like, is a normal human on any timeline to get that lean? Like, not really. Most people are not even trying to get that lean. And then second of all, like, is anyone on a timeline to usually get lean? Like, not really. Maybe outside of a wedding or something like that. But. Yeah.
I think it's like...
His circumstances are abnormal.
Yeah, to be that shredded, right? That's pretty rare level. I would say even like most high-level athletes are not that shredded year-round.
Yep.
Right? Yep. So the most shredded year-round person that I've ever known was my last coach, Guido. He at least to me, is seemingly pretty freaking shredded year-round. But he also has been a Division I athlete since he was 19. He's been a football player since he was a teenager, and he says that since his 20s, like maintaining. So for him, he doesn't even try to have a certain physique. He says he just says that once he got a six-pack, he used that as a measure for himself to let him know whether he's letting go a little bit. So he says that he will probably never not have a six-pack for the rest of his life. And being in his proximity for almost a year and a half, and just understanding the way that he does life, I can see how for him it's like it's kind of like wealth. Once you're like
once you make $1 million bucks, it's like you can't really not.
So I would say, I'm not trying to put my money out there, but like once you've accumulated a certain amount, it's a little bit hard to go back unless you really derail. Because you just have so many compounding things that you've built that now it's like it's really hard for billionaires. And again, I say billionaires or millionaires, multimillionaires that like built it themselves to like lose that because they're so focused on they knew what it was like to not have it.
For sure.
So then they do so much they compound it so much to keep it. I think it's the same thing for like people that are at the top of their game. You know what I mean? But albeit like. I think there are situations, for example, like I know a lot of professional athletes lose it, but that's because their systems change. I have a hard time thinking unless there's a big shift. I don't see LeBron James becoming this like morbidly obese person, because the man spends $1 million a year on his recovery alone, and he's got trainers. He's on the clock, like working his body. Will he reduce some of that? I think any logical person would once they're in retirement. But I don't see him just like going the other way.
Yeah.
Which it does happen, but I think it would take a lot to reverse that.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got one more, and then we'll probably wrap with this one. I kind of like yours. Let's do one more of yours. Yours have been better than mine, I feel like.
Okay, let's proceed. All
right, I'll go with mine. So this one's from Dr. Andrew Huberman.
Yeah.
Who's like he's big in like the longevity scene right now. It's a little controversial, but he's a big neuroscientist. A lot of people know who he is.
Yeah.
From the greatest neurobiologist of all time, Ramon Cajal. I think it goes something like, should somebody wish to change their nervous system, they could be the sculptor of their nervous system in any way they want. And that sounds great. I mean, who wouldn't want to change their nervous system any way they want? But what's lost in those statements is how to actually accomplish that. Please understand that early in development, your nervous system is connected very broadly in ways that make it very hard to do anything well. From birth until about age 25, those connections get refined, mainly through the remote removal of connections that don't serve us and the incredible strengthening of connections that relate to either powerful experiences or that allow us to do things like walk and talk and do math, etc. And then after age 25, if we want to change those connections, those superhighways of connectivity, we have to engage in some very specific processes, and those processes are gated, meaning you can't just decide to change your brain. You actually have to go through a series of steps to change your internal state in ways that will allow you to change your brain.
Yeah, totally. That's like, ooh.
No, we're not taking the mouse shut, buddy.
No, we're not taking the mouse shut. Yeah, I mean, what he essentially just took was he took a piece of data, or a lot of what he's essentially saying in the most like scientific way possible is he's saying, if you want to change the way you feel and experience your life, you need to intentionally pursue a life that you want to experience. and you do that by changing the circumstances that you're in, the communities that you're in, and then the things that you experience, which have everything to do with how you spend every hour or every minute of every single day, And so it's like if you are an alcoholic and you no longer want to be an alcoholic, it's like you literally just need to remove yourself from the community of alcoholics that you're in and put yourself in a community of people who are recovering from alcoholism. I'm not an alcoholic, but it's like that's why AA exists. You know what I'm saying? And so I think there's a lot of validity with what he's saying, but I think what he's actually trying to say is like it's actually a lot more simple than you think to make the changes that you want to make in your nervous system, or in a simple, I think a more simplified version of what he's saying is like it's a lot easier than you think to make the changes that you want to make in your health and in your fitness, right? Like it is by changing the environment that you are in, and therefore changing the experiences that you have, which he calls as how you connect with how you connect with the world. So, what do you think?
I think 2 or 3 things come up to my mind when I watch that clip. The first one is that, I think it's I know this, but then when you actually experience it, like yourself personally, it's pretty crazy. Like, first of all, yes, your brain changes from year to year, half decade to half decade, decade to decade. And like the neuroplasticity of your brain is amazing. It's amazing.
6 months.
Our brains are amazing.
Yeah, totally.
Right? And who you become from an identity perspective, and then also physiologically, it's just it's incredible. Like the physical transformations we see here are amazing, but the mental ones are even more impressive to me, right? So I think that's one thing. The other thing too, I think just he is a neurologist and neuroscientist, and I think one thing that I'm personally experiencing is I had my back injury in 2015, and it was just simply from overtraining and just like I think it was a mind-body connection. And something that I've noticed is now as I'm like the healthiest I've been in a while, all of my problems with my back are not a structural issue. I think they're like I'm starting to learn that I think they're neurological because I think it's my CNS.
Yeah.
So I think for me, like it's like I can't make the same jumps on my weight. It's like I have to really, my body I've trained it to lock up.
Yeah.
And freeze. And I'm literally have been working with, Dr. Ben, Sophie, now Josh, over the years, Dr. Jason Hahn as well, to like reverse those neural patterns.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
Right? And it's like, because it reminds me of the early days of like a lot of my gains early on in CrossFit specifically, I think they were just neurological adaptations.
Yeah.
When you're first crushing the first year or two, like the first year or so in the gym, like you're learning CrossFit, like suddenly your squat jumps a ton. It's like, did I get stronger? Yeah, but I think it's like my body just learned how to move that weight, and then you start to really hit limitations that are like actually like it's like your skeletal muscle and then your ability to access the strength, right? And I think
totally.
Now for me, it's like all my problems. Like I have a ton of muscle. But how much of it can I actually access? So I think that's an amazing connection. I think the other thing is that, I think it's a very hopeful message for me, and it's factual that, dude, like who you are today does not mean that you're gonna be that person a year, 3, 5, 10 years. A lot of your life can change if you want. And I think that's probably the thing I find the most encouraging is that so many people feel so hopeless in where they're at, and they feel, oh, I'm gonna cry. What the heck? They just feel like they're stuck, and they feel like there's no hope for change in their life. And wow, why am I freaking tearing up, dude? But there's so much hope if you just are willing to take the step in the right direction, and you're willing to just find the right people, find the right mentors and coaches, and your life can be so, you can literally chemically and like physically be a different person.
Totally.
In a year,
Totally.
or 5 years, or 10 years, as long as that's where you want to go.
Yep.
And there's so many stories that tell that I've seen over and over, and I just love that he's encouraging us from a scientific, like a scientific reasoning that like it is true.
Yep. Totally. Love it.
That was fun, man. We'll do it again soon. Wow. If you guys have any clips that you guys want us to react to or watch, send them our way at Happy Healthy Human Podcast. Just like DM or share them to us, and Ish will probably save them, and then we'll do our next Coaches React. But thanks for listening. Hope this was valuable. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please give us a like, share, subscribe, and our goal, we don't monetize this podcast or any of this. Our goal is simply here to share, educate, and spread happier, to create a happier, healthier society. So thanks for listening.
Stay happy, stay healthy.